like to announce the first speaker for our noon session, Dr. R.F. Suthar sir. He is currently the Dean, Faculty of Food Processing and Bioenergy, Anand Agriculture University, Anand. He has professional experience of 30 years. To his merits, he has received Sardar Patel Award of Research in Agriculture from Gujarat State Government. He also has two patents in his credit, namely equipment and method for dehulling Jatropha seeds and method and systems for preparing biodiesel from Jatropha seeds. He is the principal investigator of research project entitled Post-Harvest Management of Some Important Crops of Middle Gujarat funded by Government of Gujarat, Gandhinagar. He has 11 international publications, 30 national publications, and 10 technologies developed by his name. He is also a member in various committees like Board of Postgraduate Studies NIFTIM, Member Academic Council of Anand Agriculture University from 2008 to 10, Member of Research Council Anand Agriculture University, Member of Board of PG Studies Anand Agriculture University, Member of Board of Studies for Dairy Engineering under Faculty of Dairy Science in Anand Agriculture University, and also Member Scrutiny Committee Gujarat Horticultural Mission, Government of Gujarat, Gandhinagar. With this, we are very keen to listen to you, sir. So I forward it to you. Over to you, sir.
So thank you, ma'am, for introducing me. Good afternoon to all. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to deliver this talk. So I think I'll just share my screen and we'll just begin this session. I think it's visible to everyone.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Perfect, sir.
Wait a minute. Yeah, sorry, there's some little delay over here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the topic for today's presentation is startup and innovation in fruits and vegetable processing sector. Now, this is basically the content of how I've divided my presentation. I will not be going into details about the technologies and the flow charts and all other things, but I would just like to introduce you to the innovation, what is innovation and what is startup, and how it is applicable to the food processing or the fruit and vegetable processing sector. So in that connection, let me start by saying that, as you all know, innovation is creating new value and or capturing value in a new way. So value is the key word, stressing the difference between innovation and invention. Innovation is a process to bring new ideas, new methods, or new products to the organization. So, and entrepreneurship and innovation, like if we see this way, running a startup is like being in a horse race in which the product is the horse and the entrepreneur is the jockey, whereas the market is the track. Okay, the entrepreneur takes on the risk of starting their own enterprise or investing in other startups. So this is basically how the whole thing starts. So for startup to materialize, there are many components necessary. Like you need a support of organizations, big companies, universities, funding agencies, service providers, research organizations, and all that, that makes it possible for the startups to begin. And the many ideas and inventions and research, they can give boost to the startups, which may be at the different stages with the entrepreneurs and startup team members trying to make it into a successful venture. So there are many strengths and points for India to believe in. See, it's a very typical kind of scenario I just want to show you. Indian population is around, let us say, 130 crores. I'm taking a rough estimate, it's more than that. And consisting of around 33 crore families. Let us consider that 4 members per family. So it's 33 crore families. Even if we consider a low estimate of about 3,000 rupees per family as food expense, India still spends nearly 1 lakh crore per month on food, which is 12 lakh crore per year. So we can say the size of Indian food industry on a minimum scale is 1,200 billion per year. So it's a huge scenario. And post-COVID, since the home consumption has increased, this number might have reached to 20 lakh crores per year during this 2021. So if we see this scenario, like the food producer, you can say like we have livestock population, then it is India's largest livestock population, largest producer of milk. We are second largest producer of fisheries, fruits and vegetables, cereals. So fruit and vegetables amount to around 282 million tons of fruits and vegetables. That's a low estimate, I mean, a previous estimate of 2015-16. Now we have 20 agroclimatic zones, 15 major climates in the world, in India itself. So talking only about the horticulture sector in India, the 16% of the arable land is under horticulture, which is 25 million hectares, and produces about 300 million tons of the food produce, and contributes to 30% of the gross net value of agriculture. So fruits and vegetables availability per capita increased from 397 per gram in 2004-5 to about 540 gram per day in 2015-16. So this scenario, let us say, typically involves fruits, vegetables, horticulture sector. I'm talking about spices, medicinal plants, plantation crops. So we consider this all under fruits, vegetables, kind of single level, which is different from the food grains. Okay, so horticulture sector per se, fruits and vegetables. So horticulture, again, as I said, was amounting to about 25% of the actual agriculture GDP. So we have the supremacy of production of fruits and vegetables, first and second positions. So estimated horticulture crops occupy about 10% of the gross cropped area. And fruit production is 80 million tons in the area of 9.5 million hectares, while vegetables is about 130 million tons from an area of 8 million hectares. But despite a huge production of horticultural commodities, we all know that only about 2.5% is utilized for processing purpose. Now this also has increased. Earlier it was less than 2%, which is now a little more, which results in huge post-harvest losses, about 20 to 30%, because of the perishable nature of the commodity, which amounts to about 65,000 crores. Now here we can see the 5 major fruit producing states in India: Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Karnataka. These are the major producers of fruits. And vegetables, we have Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and Gujarat. So these are the production figures. So indicative processing opportunities, if you see over here, like you have green peas, tomato, potato, onion, mango, pineapple, grapes, banana, citrus fruits and pomegranate. And the opportunities are many. We'll talk about this in detail again. IQF, canning, pulp, puree, paste, sauces. These are all the products that can be made from any and all of these products, the commodities that I've just shown over here. Now, reason for losses, which I was talking about, is poor yield of the farm produce and therefore low returns, lack of material resource necessary for development, primitive methods of farming. A lot of places we are still having the primitive methods, even in horticulture. No control on quality of inputs and lack of finance to manage them. Vagaries of weather, like just recently we had a heavy rains which affected the mango crop in Maharashtra and Gujarat as well. Onion was also affected. So vagaries of weather, unavailability of reliable handling and transport system, which probably is like even today is non-existent. Then handling raw produce through many stages. We have middlemen, and that also amounts to higher losses. Everywhere the handling is taking place, and the packaging is not proper, and that's how the product gets deteriorated as it goes through one channel to the other till it reaches the consumer. Then low level of processing, mostly in urban areas, which leads to wastage of valuable byproducts. Now, this processing is done in the rural areas. Uh, the byproduct which is available there can be again, can go back as animal feed, or it can be again processed into many other products. So then lack of storage facility at the farm and non-availability of sufficient cold chain infrastructure, then non-availability of adequate and efficient equipment and machinery for small-scale processing, lack of facilities for training, incubation, and handholding of entrepreneurs. So all this, if we have higher processing, better the post-harvest management, and lower will be the losses. So if you see on the Indian perspective, food processing is an employment-intensive sector and creates about 1.8 jobs directly and 6.4 indirectly for every 10 lakh investment. Low level of systematic processing of fruits and vegetables. Indian produce have, it's a unique aroma, flavor, taste, nutritional properties, and health benefits, such as jamun, amla, bale fruit, pomegranate, custard apple, even mango. The mango which is available in the Western countries or all over the globe tastes very different. If we taste it, it will taste very bland because we have got used to the sweet taste of the mango. So their color, appearance, and everything is very fantastic. But then the taste-wise, the unique aroma and all that is missing. So we have even the spices and all other products which are very typical to the Indian palate. So India's location gives its unique advantage of connectivity to the Europe, the Middle East, Japan, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, and all the Southeast Asian countries. So major trends seen in the food startups, we have private labels, change of from products to services, innovative packaging that influences purchase, and sustainability products. Then trends in consumption, we have health conscious people now opting for low sugar or carbohydrates, then high protein, multigrain kind of products, then natural, organic, and fresh produce, especially connected to our fruits and vegetables, about which we are talking about right now. Then cold pressed beverages is the new mantra which has come in, and global cuisines. Then ready to eat or ready to eat products, review based ordering and regional tastes. Then there are also major trends seen in the food delivery sector, such as e-grocery, Grofers, and so many other e-platforms have come in. Then restaurant food delivery, you have Zomatos and all other food delivery systems, Swiggy. Then food kits, then FMCG, e-commerce in food FMCG, food and semi-prepared food. Even recently, as I was just going through in a mall, I came across a product from Tata's, and they have prepared a nice pasta with cheese and everything, including a separate packet of seasoning which should be put on the top of that after it is made, hot through microwave. So these kind of things are now the in things, and this is where all these startups are going into. Now, so this is what I was talking about, the innovative packaging for fruits and vegetables. Shrink packaging is one of them. There are others like modified atmosphere and the others, control atmosphere things. So these are the startup opportunities for reducing the post-harvest losses. So at development stages, people can enter at these levels. Those who want to have the startups, assessment of maturity and quality indices for shelf life prediction of horticultural produce. So if you can prepare an algorithm or have a software base where you can just scan the fruit and tell its maturity, whether it should be harvested, whether it's ripe or still not ripe. So that's one development area which can be entered into. Then machinery and tools area, like for rapid pre-cooling, washing, sorting, grading. There are machineries and equipments are available, but still there are a lot of gaps where these critical post-harvest operations can be mechanized to minimize the losses. Then we need to optimize these systems where again some startups can enter for extending shelf life. The regulation of senescence, ripening, respiration, the ethylene effect, chilling injury, superficial browning. So basically, how to extend shelf life, where interventions can be done, and how the fruit or vegetable can survive for a longer time by having a good keeping quality. So there, all these optimizations can come into picture, and that way the systems can be designed to take care of these things. Then again, some technology interventions can be again thought of by some startup like edible film packaging, and like I was showing you earlier, shrink wraps, surface protecting for enhancing the fruit quality and extending its shelf life. Because as these are protected from moisture and other places, the freshness is retained for a longer time, and that's how the losses can be prevented. Then artificial fruit ripening techniques through microbial agents. This is again a new area where a lot of people can enter. Can go into as a commercial ventures. Then applications like on-farm energy efficient storage techniques, using the renewable energy for short-term storages. Like we have evaporative cooling structures which are low cost and does not involve much of energy, and it can be self-sufficient using solar panels. And there are solar refrigeration systems also which have been developed, which can be used for the refrigeration purpose on farm. And there are these systems are also getting the subsidy from the government. So many people can enter into with newer and newer kind of energy efficient machinery and machines and equipments over there. Then mechanization of the fruit harvesting for fruits and vegetables, like elevated platform attachments for the tractors and all other kind of things. So they can be also there. Then automation of the post-harvest operations, again sorting, grading, waxing, stacking of commercial fruits and vegetables, because fruits are mishandled a lot. Even if you see today on the roads, you can chance upon a truck or a small tempo carrying vegetables in plastic bags stacked one upon the other. Each bag is at least 50 kgs or maybe even 100 kgs stacked one upon the other, and there are at least 5 layers, or even in bigger trucks there are almost 10 layers of that. So the bottom layer is subjected to maybe a ton of material from top. So that is the amount of pressure that is acting on this fruit or the vegetable which is being transported from one place to another. So some kind of packaging or handling systems for these long-term transportation should be developed. So there again, you have the application of some startups can intervene with one of their technologies. And then there are application of sensors and the IoT, Internet of Things, which again is now gaining a lot of importance, like optimization of different absorbents and inert sensors for modified atmosphere packaging, like fruits and vegetables, especially fruits. They respire and they evolve a lot of CO2. Now, this CO2 is detrimental to the product if it increases beyond a certain level of concentration. So somewhere some absorbent material or some kind of scrubbing or something can be introduced. Some IoT can be introduced where sensors can sense the levels and then start the systems so that they can save energy, but at the same time they can prolong the conditions where the product can be stored, and the extension of the shelf life can take place. Then systems to be developed like self-cooling packages for long distance transportation of fruits and vegetables. This is a new area where people can enter, and they can have some startups over here. Then intelligent cool chain systems for horticultural produce from farm to retailers. I'll show you some examples which some people have already started as startups. where they are establishing such cool chains to transport the horticultural produce from farm to the retailer or to the consumer. Okay, so there also a lot of scope is there for people to have startups. Then system development like control atmosphere, storage, as I told you, packaging of high value, low volume products, which also is a money spinning business where a lot of people can enter. So coming to the one specific area I just wanted to highlight, and that is about agro processing of fruits and vegetables, or even other products also in a production catchment. For example, let's take the catchment of mango. In the area of Junagadh, there is a place called Talala and the nearby areas, which is a catchment. So you provide all kind of facilities over there, including storage and grading and waxing, all these things. So the product which comes from there, it has added value to it. It can have extended shelf life. It can be graded material, so you have the right amount, right kind of product goes to the right kind of people. And yeah, so there are other what do you call clusters, like we have Tuvar Dal cluster, which is here nearby Anand. There is a place called Vasad, which is a Tuvar Dal cluster. And then for potato, you have a cluster in North Gujarat, where like companies like McCain and all have started the what do you call this contract farming. So basically, everybody over there is kind of growing these potatoes, and there are a lot of cold chains and cold store units which have come up with the help of the government support, and this has become a cluster. So from there, even the private players like Vadilal and others are taking the potato for their requirement of French fries and other things. Then it shortens the supply chain, and increases the profitability of the farmers, and that's how the agricultural GDP can be increased. So because of the shorter supply chain, because distance is minimized because of this cluster of the different products. So this is what I just wanted to, and like I was telling you, if these are processed in the cluster itself rather than taking it to some urban areas or somewhere, then the byproducts are available as animal feed, and that also increases the availability, and it can support so many people at the rural level. So a cluster based approach is very much needed for all kinds of fruit vegetable processing units as well. So talking of the startup ecosystem, much has been talked about, so I will not dwell much into this. Maybe it's the one of the third largest, maybe it has now increased again. Maybe it's the second largest ecosystem in the world right now. And so many startups have come up. Mostly they are in Karnataka and Maharashtra. And they have raised quite a lot of funds. Now, Government of India has started an initiative called Startup India, where a lot of innovations are being nurtured to help them build up into a startup or go into a bigger level and start their own companies, and so they can drive the sustainable economic, through through their own enterprise, and generate large scale employment to take care of their processing things. Now, taking advantage of these policies, startups in agriculture ecosystem works across the value chain by creating innovative products, supply chain solutions, packaging and processing technology, the equipment, storage and logistics, food safety, marketing, that is e-commerce based, B2B or B2C models, distribution and retailing. Okay, so if we see at the startup cycle, life cycle, it's like a living organism. Startup also has different stages of life. It starts with the discovery of a product or service that is scalable for a sufficiently large target market. The second stage is validation, where the discovered product or its services hits the market for initial consumers for test marketing and initial response from how the consumer will accept or not accept the product, and what changes need to be done into that product. So this gives birth to the startup, which then enters into the next stage, that is where the maintenance and their presence is to be done for the global presence to be addressed. And the final stage is either the scale up of the startup to a bigger giant, or acquire huge resources for renewal or further growth of the startup to become a large company. So it becomes from incubation to acceleration and then into a big enterprise. So this is how the whole thing works. Now, as I was saying about the startup prospects, it needs to have a team consisting of the agricultural scientists, engineers, business managers, who will be helping the startup to take off. So they can use machine learning, computer vision, artificial intelligence, and technology for farmers, for farm management, crop monitoring, post-harvest management, and helping the farmer to market their product directly to the consumers. So subscription models for consumers, that I'll come just now to that. Then another prospect is the functional carbonated beverages, focusing on boosted immunity, enriched sleep, and enhanced mind focus. Boosted immunity is which nowadays is now become a buzzword because of the COVID-19 situation. Then low sugar or sugar optimized carbonated beverages, focusing on delivering guilt-free experience of having a carbonated beverage, having the complex flavors, but at the same time having the low sugar, so that they can have that good experience of having a carbonated beverage. So then we have raw cold pressed fruit vegetable juices. This is a very new sector in India. Then another sector is the fermentation technology and developing bio-based, bio-inspired products containing nutraceuticals, supplements, including fruits and vegetables. These products are also added for building up the immunity, and that's how the products are being produced. So as I was telling you again, this efficient supply chain, minimal processing, natural preservative free, then drying, high pressure. These are the areas where people can take these technologies forward and have these startups. Like I'm telling you about this high pressure processing, which has gone into the cold press raw juice, which I was telling you about, which we'll be just seeing after a few slides. Okay. Then the biodegradable packaging for foods, especially for fruits and vegetables, which need to have extended shelf life because let us say they are traveling for about 3 to 4 days. So in transit, or maybe even for a longer period. We had a request from, let us say, APEDA for developing the protocol for mango export to the European countries and Gulf by sea route. Now, by sea route, it takes 20 days. In 20 days, the mango will, it just finish off. So you need some protocols to extend its shelf life, and it should arrive at that port in the same condition that it has left from here. So all this will require a lot of all these kind of things, packagings and control atmosphere and all these kind of things. Then detection of spongy tissues in mango. Then this is again a new area where like what you have for irradiation and vapor treatment for export of mangoes. These are the technologies that are being used. So this again is an inspection which can be directly implemented into the supply chain somewhere, where as soon as the product is comes in, and after pre-cooling, when it is being packed for export market or long distance travel, you can just detect through some X-ray inspection or some kind of a device that these mangoes do not have any spongy tissues inside. Otherwise, when they start ripening, they are going to create problems, and they are going to have become bad. So this kind of, again, system can be incorporated somewhere on a startup basis. Then application of AI in post-harvest management. A lot of this is gaining ground because of the amount of data that is available. And with this data, you can go in and prepare things, and the systems can operate using this data for detection of underdeveloped, let us say, nuts from fully developed nuts, and quantification of vitamin C in kiwi and mango and many other fruits. Then there can be online assessment of the internal quality of the fruits. Then there is the method for determining the maturity of the mango on the tree itself. Then another area is the computer vision applications for sorting and grading of fruits and vegetables. So basically, we can call it sorting because that has to be done manually, whether the fruit has ripened or it is having the right color or not. So that can be sorted out by, right now it is done manually. So computer vision helps you in this. The best example is the rice which we get in the market. This is called Sortex rice, which goes through the process of computer vision, and only the pure white rice is separated out, and all the remaining impure or the colored rice is separated out from it. Even if it is having a little yellow color, it gets separated out. So there the computer vision application is already prevalent, and that can be extended to fruits and vegetables as well. So sorry. So what's an idea? So you're sure your idea is even good? So make successful ideas. Many successful ideas are disruptive to an existing market, or create a new market that was not seen before. For example, your Facebook, Twitter. So these are disruptive. Online, social networking, Amazon, Zoom. Zoom was never there. We never thought of this earlier, right? I'm speaking to you on Zoom. Earlier, there was something only called the Skype, and that too seemed to be very distant and very complicated, and we didn't really need it. But now it's there, and everybody is using it. Uber, for example, Uber and Ola are widely used in even small cities, B and C class cities also. So these are something which are disruptive, which are not there earlier. Earlier there was only those meter down cabs, Pili, Kali Pili and all that. So those are now replaced by these Ubers and other things. Then you may need to do market research to validate your ideas. Okay, access the the business ideas and concept. That is what it is. Can it make money? What is the future of the idea, and all those kind of things. Now I'll just come to some case-wise, case studies of some of these categories, which we discussed earlier. This is one of the category. Let's call this a fresh fruits and vegetables supply chain, and this is called lemon leaf, and it supplies the fruits and vegetables to consumers, both in the whole form and the pre-cut form, depending on what the consumer requires. Now this basically they have about 15 vegetables which they are processing and packaging, and they sell it through an organized retail and standalone vegetable vendors at present. Then there is another, which this probably you must have, a Ninja Cart is a very big name now, because it has been able to get a lot of angel funding from a lot of people in crores of rupees. Then Crow Farm and Krishi Hub. These people also are basically directly procuring from the farmers and selling to the retailers, and thereby eliminating the middlemen. And they're directly selling to the consumers as well as the institutional users like hotels, the food suppliers, and things like that. So basically, they are using some kind of apps where the farmers also are alerted regarding the requirements, and the consumers they keep on putting their demand for whatever crop and particular products they require, and the product is tracked at every stage using these uh, apps, and they are using AI to collect the information from the consumer end and from the farmer end, and that's how this whole thing works, and that's how the inventory doesn't get piled up anywhere. It's a very smooth kind of thing that they are trying to establish. Payments also are being done through online platform and directly to the farmer's account. So trying both are, everything is happy over here. But then there are a lot of things that are still very, they have to be worked out to perfection. But they have already started, and these people are already there in the market now. So this is another case study of Jaipur, where they are providing a 24-hour by 7 call support for the supply of fresh fruits and vegetables. And basically, it's a B2B customers like cafes, hotels, and the retailers, and they go very fast. They also have customers including the ITC, Big Basket, Big Bazaar, and the hotel chains, and they have quite a nice revenue of about 4.3 crores in the year 1819. So they are directly collecting from the farmers and basically bringing it to the collection center. There they are doing some grading, washing, cleaning, grading, and they are sending it to the the people who want this kind of thing. So that's again, then the middlemen are avoided, and the consumer gets it at a very uh, profitable proposition, and the farmer also earns a nice profit. And in between these people, they are just taking their own whatever this thing is there, commission is there. So that's how it works out, and they are also using the online platform. So this is how the supply chain, as we discussed earlier. So earlier it is farmer, the aggregator, logistic players, commission agents, wholesalers, and retailers. Here, what has come in between is the only the startup. So farmer, startup, retailer, or the wholesale customer. That's it. So all this requires pricing transparency, demand prediction, product traceability, route optimizations. So they don't go here and there. So it will take time. Payments directly to the banks. So this is how the whole thing works. And till now, these people are showing good success. So I'll skip this. So the other thing which I had mentioned earlier was regarding the cold chain. Now, regarding the cold chain, if you see this figure itself over here, you have the farm, and from the farm it is collected and it comes to the packing house. It goes to the cold chain, and then the cold storage, and then it is refrigerated transport and to the sales outlet, and or it is transported out. So the packing house, now in between we are having a pre-cooling center, and then it goes to the refrigerated transport and wherever it is to be marketed, or it goes to the refrigerated transport and the sale outlets. Now, to create all this, it requires a lot of investment, and as it looks, it is not difficult to handle. Only thing is that you require a lot of management practices and a lot of interventions to manage this whole chain. So this is how the logistic thing works. It is as usual. You have the supply, procurement, the transport, storage, transport, end customer. In between, what comes in is the temperature control. So already, as you know that you must have been knowing about the dairy sector, which is using this temperature controlled reefer vans for transporting their butter and cheese and all other these milk products. So the similar kind of thing is required for fruits and vegetables. Only thing is, if we can say that there the milk products which are there are kind of dead, and whereas our products of fruits and vegetables are alive. So the only difference is the generation of carbon dioxide and ethylene, and it is taking up a lot of oxygen for sustaining itself. So we need to what you call monitor that and maintain that, so that it can be carried forward till the last end. So this is the cold chain logistics, which is already being used by the seafood, milk products, and processed products, vaccines. The only thing that we come in where here is the fruits and vegetables, which need to be actually put into this particular sector in a proper manner. So where this can be taken up. What happens is, basically, if you are adding all these things here, it is increasing the cost of the product. So that's how that is why the because consumers should be ready to pay that much extra for the quality of the product. That is the main problem right now with the fruit and vegetable sector. Even today, if you really see how we purchase the fruits and vegetables, it's really we never think about the quality of the product and why we are paying, let us say, 5 rupees more for per kg for let us say a tomato or maybe an orange or things like that. So we need to actually look into the consumer, where the consumer needs to be also educated to do this kind of thing. For cold chain, again, there is an Indian government advantage that I would like to tell you about. That is, government has established the National Center for Cold Chain Development, which is called NCCD under the Ministry of Agriculture, where a lot of subsidy schemes are available for putting up these pre-cooling systems, then cold storages, ripening chambers, reefer vans, and they are giving these incentives to promote this technology for enhancing the shelf life and promote. Then they are promoting green and sustainable technology with application of renewable energy. That also again is a subsidized thing. For example, if you are adding the solar energy based system, then again there is a what you call incentive for that. Now, another case study that I would like to show you is about the dehydration. As you all know, you are already aware about dried products that are available in the market. Those are dried using tray dryers or solar dryers or simple shade drying. Now, here just why I wanted to show you is this is a kind of a company which was founded by a group of young people who are linked to the alumni of the Mumbai's Institute of Chemical Technology. And what they did was they developed this kind of solar dryer, which you see over here on the picture inside. And this solar dryer has a chimney over here, so that it maintains the temperature. Where this is used is very important. They are not using the good material or the material which is coming to the market and being sold uh, as the prime the what you call it, the prime product, like tomatoes and mango, for example. They are targeting the products which cannot be transported, because by the time they reach the market they will get spoiled. So they have targeted these kind of products, especially like example tomato. If it is already ripened, then by the time it reaches the market it will get spoiled and it might spoil the other fruits as well. So what they have done is they have separated it out right at this farm level. Then they slice it and put it into these dryers, and they dry it and prepare the slices of dried tomato, beetroot, for example. Then vegetables like palak. I'll show you. I think this. Yeah, I have a clip over here. There's a chiku, which is already ripe. So by the time it reaches the market, it will get spoiled, and nobody will buy it also. So what they've done is they've just removed the seed, cut it open, made slices of it, and dried it using that dryer. Similarly, the palak. Then we have beetroot, which again is a problematic product. So these kind of products, they are prepared and they are marketing. See the type of packaging they have used. It's very attractive, and anybody can be attracted to buy these kind of products. Okay, so this is again a startup which is becoming popular, and they are doing well, I should say. Now we come to the cold pressed raw juices, fruit juices, which I was talking to you about. Now high pressure processing technology is used. As I told you again, that we can incorporate all those technologies that list was given over there. So here these people are using the high pressure processing technology because it does not involve any heat. So all these enzymes and the nutrients, they remain intact within the fruit, within the juice. Sorry. And no heat processing is done, no sugar is added, no water is added, so it retains the rawness of that fruit or the vegetable. Okay, and as such it is directly, it can be consumed. So it's very useful for detoxification and all those kind of thing. People are now ready to pay premium price to buy this kind of product, although it has a very small shelf life of 3 to 30 days depending on the product. And these are combinations of the products that you see over here. We have celery and cucumber, celery, mint, lemon, raspberry, honey. Then these are the combinations which this has been manufactured by the company to satisfy the need of the people who are into the gym, and they need detoxification and all those kind of. This is a premium market. So this again a story of another company called Raw Pressery. This is again a what you call startup which has gathered a lot of money from different capital funding, venture capitalists. One of the promoters of this product is someone called Jacqueline Fernandez. Probably you must have heard about this young lady who's a, a Bollywood actress. So she is also the brand ambassador for the Raw Pressery. Okay, then there are so many others. We'll just skip this now. That's I think quite enough for the introduction. So I'll come to the AAU advantage of Anand Agriculture University. We have an incubator here, the Incubation Center, Center of Excellence in Food Processing, and it's funded by the Industries Commissionerate of the Government of Gujarat. You see the website over here. Please take it down and please visit this website, and you'll find a lot of interesting things over there regarding this particular incubator. To give a little brief about this, we have four main projects running over here. One is the RKVY Raftar. It's an agribusiness incubation scheme promoted by the Government of India, Ministry of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare. And similar kind of another project is the the Startup Nodal Institute, which is colored in red. It is a Government of India project, but supported through the Government of Gujarat. So almost similar kind of activities are there. And then there is a Student Startup and Innovation Policy for Gujarat State, which is a typical thing only available in Gujarat. Then we have a Business Planning and Development called BPD unit, which is there for transfer of technology, which have been developed in the university. Now, the Incubation Center was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, and it has about, say, 15,000 square feet of space with the following pilot plants. We have an extrusion line for extruded products. We have a namkeen snack line or frying line. Okay. With the FSS packaging for packaging of these fried products with auto feeder. Then we have a beverage line with automatic bottling line. Then pulping and canning line with a retort. Then tomato processing line. Then we have an IQF line, which is a small scaled down version of the big ones which are available. So then we have a laboratory spray dryer and including an evaporator. Then we have a bakery line, and about 4,000 square feet of separate dedicated space for incubation. So all those who are interested in our projects, who want to enroll themselves for the startup or the agribusiness incubation programs, will be having access to all these things. They can develop their own products using these lines and test market it through here. They can have an office space. They can start their business right here. And they will be also supported by the government scheme through the funding. So that way, then also you will be provided with the mentors who are specialized in their fields from this College of Food Processing, as well as if you have somebody else in mind from somewhere else, even they can be accommodated. So this is how the scheme works. These are the thrust areas for this particular agri incubator, and we have the fruit and vegetable processing also as one of them. Now I'll just tell you there are two places where one is called a pre-seed stage funding, or it's an idea stage funding, where you have an idea and you want to translate this idea into a minimum viable product. And then this is where we give a platform for the experimentation of their approach to developing of that product using those lines which I told you earlier. Here, this scheme particularly has a grant in aid of up to 5 lakh rupees funded by the Government of India. Then there is an 8-week workshop or a training program, internship program here itself. Then a mentorship is available from experts. We have modern research laboratories for testing of the equipment, for formulating the new products and all that. And then there is a stipend of 10,000 rupees per month. So this is an idea stage or a pre-seed stage funding, which we have named as Pallav. And this is available under the RKVI Rabi scheme. The second one is Prasun, which also is under that, where this is a seed stage funding, where you already have a minimum viable product, and you want to bring it to a marketable stage and scale it up to the product and the business. So this is where we provide a platform for faster modification of this minimal viable project, and based on the innovative solutions, processes, and this is for scaling up. So here, grant in aid of up to 25 lakhs is available. Here we have again an 8-week workshop, which they have to attend, and mentorship form from experts is also available, and again access to the modern research laboratories for doing their product development is available. So this is a seed stage funding with 25 lakh grant, up to 25 lakh. It's not 25 lakh, it's up to 25 lakh depending on the project. This is access. This is what you call. It goes through a selection process where experts from various fields are appointed by the government of India, and they have to. This startup has to do a presentation in front of them and present their ideas. There, the questioning, they have to put a business plan so that the funding agency understands how you are going to start your business, because this 25 lakhs is a grant in aid, so you don't have to return it back, but then you need to show how that 25 lakhs has been utilized and how you have been able to scale it up to that level where you can earn 5-fold or 10-fold about what you have put into it. Okay, so these are the two schemes that are being run over here. I'll give you a little example of how two of our incubators who have been selected are doing their work. So one of them is called Kanirvam. Basically, it's a product from prickly pear. It's a very unique kind of thing. You have seen a cactus. On the cactus, there is a red colored fruit, which is very high in iron. And basically, it's traditionally people have been using it for treating anemia in children and women. And it grows in the wild, and it is basically available in Saurashtra region. Now, this particular person who has done this is also from that area. So, as I told you, cluster based. So, he has access to this fruit. So, he is preparing these two products out of that. So, he has done a lot of experimentation. He has done it in our laboratory, and he has put up a stall, as you see at the bottom, where he has given it for tasting to the different people. Okay, so this is his two products. These are his two products: the prickly pear juice and the prickly pear powder. Okay, this powder is very typical. It can be mixed with any liquid, and you can prepare a healthy drink using that. And it's not very expensive. Also, you can see the price he has come out with is not really very expensive. So this is one of the startups which was selected from this our own incubator. So he has conducted some trials also, and that's how he's taking this thing forward. The second project was on development of a product from the mango kernel. After eating the mango, only the gutli remains. Now inside that there is a kernel, which when dried, it has a lot of what you call nutrients in it. Now all these nutrients can be utilized for preparing of dried products from it, and she has prepared a lot of. This girl has done a lot of work. At the last bottom part, you can see the packets which she has prepared using this dried mango kernel, and they have been tested also at different laboratories other than our laboratory also. She has got it tested and confirmed that it has certain nutrients which are very useful. And these are the three products that she has finally formulated. That is the mango kernel powder, and this is a salted gotli which can be used as a mukwas, and the other is a flavored gotli, which has a traditional flavor of Gujarat. Some spices have been added so that it gives a tangy and nice flavor to it. And this is very highly nutritious product that she has prepared. So this is another startup which was an idea stage. Now she still has to go to the other stage where she can actually market this in a big way. So as I was telling you about the entrepreneurship opportunities, at the right hand side, if you see, these are the typical kind of processes that can be taken up to make some product which can become viable as some minimal viable project which can be put into the market. So drying, freezing, pickling, so pulp conserves, so that is conserves, then preserves using brine or syrup, sterilization like juices, raw juices, fruit bars. So these are the products that can be prepared. Thing is, you should be self-motivated, you should be action-oriented, should be proactive, and think outside the box, come up with some disruptive technology, and you should have a leadership skill. Take this forward and come out with a lot of things and be a successful entrepreneur. Now, actually, I'm ending my presentation with this slide, with this slide itself. That's it. But recently, just a couple of days back, I came up with this new thing. Now, there is a book I would recommend to all of you who are watching this. It's downloadable also. Of course, it is called The Fifth Discipline by Peter M. Senge. And there I found this one line, which is written at the top: an idea is an innovation where the idea has been replicated reliably at effective scale with practical costs. So that is the whole crux of that book. And there, in that whole book, there are 5 learning disciplines which have been given, which is shown on the left side. So I don't know whether we have time for this. I'll need another 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Thank you. So these 5 learning disciplines are like when, as I said, you should have a shared vision. When people truly share a vision, they are connected, they are bound together by a common aspiration. Personal visions derive their power from an individual's deep caring for the vision. That is a force that is in people's heart. So that's a shared vision. That is one principle of this. Second is the personal mastery. It is a set of specific principles and practices that enables a person to learn. Create a personal vision. See, when you are entering into a market with a product, I want to do this. So you should have a personal vision about what is going to happen to that product, how you are going to take it up further. I mean, iske aage kya hoga? Where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? So that's your personal mastery about how things will happen. Okay. Then you have mental models. They are conceptual frameworks consisting of generalizations and assumptions from which we understand the world and takes actions in it. Okay, we may not even know that these mental models exist or are affecting us, but there are mental models which are actually coming into your framework of your startup, and they are the forces which will try to change the course of the approach towards the marketing or towards development of the product. And there are so many things that will affect this. Then there is something called team learning. It's a team skill that requires practice fields as a concept for team members to practice together so that they can develop their collective learning skills. This applies to any product. Like they need to first have a technology, they need to have the back end, they need to have a front end where it is going to be marketed. They need to understand the concept of how the product is to be packaged and presented to the consumer. The consumer needs need to be understood through this team learning. Only this all things will come in. And then when all these things are going into the whole thing, then you need a lot of compliances that will come in the way of putting this thing into the market. And so this is the team learning that will come into the system. So basically it's a system thinking. It's an approach to integration that is based on the belief that the component parts of a system will act differently when isolated from a system's environment or other parts of the system. So totality is the main theme over here. So that's it. That's what I had to speak today. Thank you very much for inviting me. I can invite your questions now. That's it. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for such an elaborative presentation. I would now request Dr. Samit Datta, sir, to put up the questions.
Yes, thank you, Vijita. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's a wonderful presentation. You have covered means very wide range, means you have actually tempted them with new ideas of innovations where they can look after, and at the same time you have given them the startup means where they will get the supports. And now in the morning session they have already got some idea, means it was on the means managing a startup. So there also these talks came up that there are now a lot of avenues to support them. So that also I think they will give a good insight. There are really very good comments in the YouTube chat box also. I would like to take some questions, means there are quite a few of them. Some are technical, some are with related to management. To start with, there is a question from Mr. Suresh Patil. So he's asking that are there any assistance from government for startup programs in processing of fruits and vegetables?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. That we have, like I told you, for processing of fruits and vegetables, there are schemes which are operated through the National Horticulture Mission. But then those are for entrepreneurship kind of projects where the new idea may not be there. No innovation may be there. It might be like, for example, you want to put up a fruit processing unit for making jams and bottled fruit juices and all that. So there is nothing new in it. So for those kind of projects, even there is support from Government of India through the National Horticulture Mission, also through the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. So you have a subsidy scheme for the equipment and for to some extent for the expenses on electricity and the paperwork that needs to be done for formulating of these things. So those are being supported by Government of India. Yeah.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
For startups, as I told you, for startups, as I told you, we have these schemes on Startup India as well as the Rabi scheme. Yeah.
Right. Some are not specifically for fruits and vegetables, but there are a lot of schemes where fruits and vegetable startups can also go, right, sir? Thank you. Another question is from Sri Ravi Ghosh. He's writing, which type of packaging material should be used to increase the shelf life of the fresh mushroom so that it can be transported in long distance market?
That's quite technical.
Very technical.
Yeah. So basically, there are quite a few different types of material that have come in, innovative packaging material. But then, as this mushroom is basically a perishable product and needs to be kept under refrigeration if you want to store it for a longer time. You're talking about the fresh or for the dried?
I think it must be fresh, means type of packaging should be used to increase the shelf life of fresh mushroom. Yes, fresh.
Right. So it should be breathable. The product, the packaging should be breathable. That is the main criteria for this. And the moisture barrier, it should not have a moisture barrier. The moisture should be able to migrate through and out, because otherwise, if the moisture is too much inside, then it will spoil the mushroom. It becomes soggy.
Right. That is a very important aspect, right? Another question with regard to packaging only, I think Ms. Mayuri Power. So she's writing that in home fruits, especially banana, are stored as it is in PE bags for a few days. Is it safe for human consumption? How to reduce the banana oxidation through packaging material intervention?
See, through package at home scale, there's nothing like any packaging things that can be used But for long distance, things that are done are very different. There are something called carbon dioxide scavenging that is done, because banana also respires quite a lot. One thing is that it is kept at a low temperature, and it is kept at such a temperature where it should not have a chilling injury. Okay, so it is about 7 degrees centigrade, plus minus
Right,
1
sir.
degree. And secondly, the humidity inside is very high. Otherwise, the skin will lose its color because of the moisture migration. Secondly, as I said, it is evolving a lot of carbon dioxide. Now, this carbon dioxide has to be taken care of. Okay, and this, because of the intake of oxygen, it is evolving carbon dioxide. So this balance has to be maintained. So there are certain in the storage system itself, there are some scrubbers installed which remove this carbon dioxide. They recycle the air back into the system so that it doesn't lose the temperature and humidity, but the carbon dioxide levels are kept below something called 2000 ppm. So that is the requirement for banana, that it should not cross 2000 ppm. Otherwise, like when you keep it in the fridge, it'll get spoiled. It'll become black and all that. So that is where we do not have any control over humidity, or we do not have control over any carbon dioxide levels. So mainly on large scale, this kind of systems are used for maintaining the color and freshness of banana. At the home scale, we don't have much on this kind of thing.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think, Ms. Mayuri, I think it satisfies your questions. And actually, Suthara sir is an expert in this respiration of these fruits. And also for any further queries, also you are always welcome in our university. We can help you. There is one more question from Mr. Ramalingam Subbarayan. So he's asking that, is there a technique to delay the maturity of the fruits, for example, mango, in the tree for a few weeks to align harvesting time with demand? And so we can delay the maturity of fruit in the tree itself.
Actually, I'm not an expert for that pre-harvest thing, but there are certain hormones which are being sprayed, but that basically is for enhancing the ripening, not for reducing the ripening. Okay,
For fastening the ripening,
fastening
right?
the ripening, yeah.
Yes, yes. Means sir is expert in post-harvest only. This is absolutely.
That's under actually the horticulture section, which for directly if you want to increase the shelf life.
Right. One more question from Mr. Amit. He's asking that a new startup, what are the main criteria to maintain quality and profits? Means to keep a balance between quality and profit. I think it should be like that with the proper means your ethics and all has to be maintained. Means
Yeah.
then on long run it will be successful. Means you cannot be successful with compromising with the quality.
You cannot compromise on quality. Yes.
Right.
Especially, I would suggest that all the startups, they should, in the beginning, even if they are going into a loss, they should not never compromise on the quality. Okay, you don't, what do you call, don't cut corners. They should maintain the quality as far as possible, and try to maintain their goodwill in the market. So once your goodwill is lost, then I don't think you'll be able to survive any more in the market. So
right, sir. One more question on just wondering, do we have vacuum frying technology, retort machinery at the incubation center? It's a nice information he has also added. Mr. Murli M. So he wants to know that in the incubation facility, our incubation facility, whether vacuum frying technology and retort machinery is available or not.
Yeah, retort machinery is available with us, but vacuum frying is not there. We have a frying automatic frying line. Okay, but vacuum frying is not there. Yeah, it's a new concept, and but right now it's not available with us. Retort is available. We have a retort for canning as well as for those pouches and all kinds of things. Retort is available with us.
Then another question: do you think that entrepreneurial idea of being a stakeholder in the cold supply chain, for instance, a solar powered pre-cooling storage house, is viable? And where one can get financial and technical assistance for such an idea?
Right. I'll answer the last part first. The financial assistance is available from the National Horticulture Mission through whichever state you are in. They have a state horticulture mission under the horticulture department. Okay, so you can approach them, and there is a provision for the renewable energy part, like for renewable energy, use of renewable energy for this kind of thing. The other part was the first part was regarding the shelf life. What was that?
Yes. It was, do you think the entrepreneurial idea of being a stakeholder in the cold supply chain is viable?
Yeah. The viability, see, in this particular thing depends on the entire cold chain, because this particular part is part of a whole cold chain. So right from pre-cooling, you need a pre-cooling first on the farm, where you reduce the temperature of the fruit, so your respiration rates are reduced. Then it goes to a low temperature storage or a cold storage, where it is maintained. Then, like for pre-cooling, you require temperatures which are less than 5 degrees centigrade. But then the product temperature comes to only about 7 degrees or so. Then it goes to, he was talking about mango?
No, he's mentioned the crop, but
okay. But this is
as you have given the example of the solar dryer and
so this is generally the whole chain. You need to first have a pre-cooling, which is done at a very low temperature. Suddenly the temperature is dropped from the field heat of, let us say, 35 degrees centigrade to maybe around 7 to 10 degrees centigrade, depending on the product. Then it has to be maintained in a cold room. Let us say it's not a cold storage, but it needs to have a cold room, maybe about 12 degrees centigrade or so, or 10 degrees centigrade, depending on the product, but with higher humidity, so that the moisture loss from the product is not there. Secondly, then this is where your cold system comes in, the refrigerated cold system comes in with renewable energy. After that, also you need a cold chain to transport it from your cold storage to the consumer or to the retailer. Again, the retailer has to have a cold, like if you go to a Reliance mall where they have these colored capsicums, they are kept under a low temperature storage. So it has come from this farm, it has been pre-cooled, it has been brought in a cold chain, and it has been kept in a cold room. So unless this thing is there, your only low standalone system will not work.
There should not be any breakage in the whole chain.
It should be a part of a complete cold chain, only then it is viable.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Another question is, what should be the optimum storage conditions for lemon under controlled atmosphere storage?
It's still being worked out, but right now they are storing it at 2 degrees centigrade. Okay. And again, as I said, the CO2 levels under controlled atmosphere are being maintained below 2000 ppm. That's basically, it is maintained at that level. But still there are black spot problems and other things coming up. So people are still working to overcome all those kind of things. Because it all depends on the type or the variety of the lemon and when it has been harvested, and stage of harvesting, that means, and those kind of things are there. Like I'll give you an example, like as it has come up and somebody might be interested, and many of you are talking about cold chain. So let me put it over here. The long distance transport of mango was once attempted through sea route using these what do you call these containers, reefer containers, and it so happened that the containers were filled up and it landed in UK. When it was opened, it was all spoiled. The reason later on, when they studied the whole thing, it so happened that half the containers was filled with Kesar mango and half the containers was filled with Alfonso mango. Both these, they have different respiration rates, their ripening processes are different, the sugar levels are different. So one spoiled the other. That's what happened. So it was no mistake of anybody. It was only the mistake of how it was handled.
Right.
So it so happens, like in lemon also, it might happen because of so many other.
Right, sir. Okay, there is one more question from Mr. Satish Kumar. Is there equipment available to replicate sun drying of vegetables? Means infrastructure for using solar drying for vegetables.
Exactly, I didn't understand the question because just can you repeat that?
He's writing that any availability of equipment to replicate sun drying of vegetables. The effect will be same, but in a control?
Sun drying, see, what basically is being done now is they are using these tunnel dryers, okay, or they are using this greenhouse dryers. So basically, but what happens over there is it accelerates the drying as compared to sun drying, okay, because of the high temperature within the enclosed environment. But if you want to exactly replicate the sun drying, it's little difficult because uh, you need to understand what drying is, what is your final goal, because you are removing moisture from the product. Okay, now it depends on many products. Like during sun drying, it's a very slow process, so many of the products behave in that way because as you if you can understand what is drying, if you have a slab, there is water inside. Now the center of the water moves to the surface, and from the surface it moves out. Okay, so this rate of moving from the center to the surface and from the surface to the outside should be the same rate. Only then your drying will be very nice. I mean, it should be, it will be very satisfactory. Otherwise, what will happen is, if it is faster, then outer surface will become drier fast. It will dry fast, and this will slow down. Okay. Otherwise, if it is having low temperature, like in case of sun drying, also sometimes it happens that the outer surface doesn't. It starts evaporating, but it is slow. From inside, it is moving faster. But then slowly, it takes 2 or 3 days for it to dry. But then you get a very good product, as you say. Now, there's a mango leather, for example. Mango leather, if it is dried in sun. Another example is sun dried tomato.
Right.
It is a recipe in which some recipes it is written that sun dried tomato slices should be used. It will give enhance the flavor because that's the sun kissed product. So those things cannot be replicated. That is a very slow process and it has its own advantages. Okay, even if you have a 40 degrees dryer and you dry it for 3 days, it will not give you the same effect as sun drying is doing. Okay,
Right.
basically you can at the most go to a solar dryer or a tunnel dryer.
Right, sir.
That's the best thing.
One more question on Bilal Ahmed. Without using of chemical, is it possible to increase shelf life of vegetables?
Yeah, through lowering of temperature, that is the best thing to do. You don't use any
Without
chemical.
using any chemical.
Yeah.
Right. So lowering of temperature is the yeah. We'll take one more question, the last question. Before that, somebody has also thanked you for your book reference. It relates to his ideas also, and he's very grateful for that. Now, the last question is, yes, from Mr. Rakesh Kumar, application of solar energy in dairy and food pricing and its efficiency. Whether solar energy based means applications in dairy and food pricing and whether they are efficient.
Use of solar energy, yeah. See, they are efficient. It depends on where it is used. If you are using it for refrigeration, there are two kinds of refrigeration that are used. One is converting the solar energy into electricity and then running a vapor compression system, which is the normal compression system that we are using at home. The other is called a vapor absorption system, where the COP is very low. However,
Right.
since the whole system is free of cost, there is no other involvement of money anywhere. You once install the system and forget it; it keeps on working. So there, after a certain amount of time, it's very cheap and you don't incur any cost over it. Efficiencies, it will give you the same amount of refrigerating effect as the conventional system. The second part is about water heating. Again, it requires tweaking of the solar system to get higher water temperatures. For example, if you need something above 80 degrees centigrade, the normal heaters, the normal water heating systems that are installed in your home or elsewhere, they can provide you a water up to maybe 80 degrees centigrade. That's the maximum it can go. But then if you tweak that, you have evacuated glass tubes with heat pumps, heat sumps in that installed, then it can raise the temperature right up to it will boiling. So the water you will get boiling water in that. So those are used in boilers. But then investment is there, and then you need to take care of the system. But the efficiency will increase like anything. There are systems which can be used in this such kind of things used in dairy and food processing.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thanks not only for the presentation, but the wonderful question answer session also. I think you have satisfied all their this thing. So with this, I'd like to hand over the session to Ms. Pishita Khanna, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Ideally, your presentation was a complete package of success mantra for startups. You began with statistics justifying the scope of post harvest management and processing. After this, you highlighted the key issues and problems associated with the Indian markets, considering the infrastructure, intermediaries, and other issues. After this, you highlighted the solutions also of these problems by innovation, which could be used by startups so that they have a unique selling proposition in the market. You also described all the possible aspects of innovation, whether if, it is product innovation, process innovation, storage innovation, package innovation, as well as marketing innovation. In the end, you also shared various success stories with us. I'm sure that these will motivate our viewers to think in this direction. Thus, I would like to sum up by saying that we are blessed to have a mentor like you with us. Thank you so much, sir. And we wish to get more opportunities in the future to learn with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Now, moving on towards our last speaker of the day, he's Mr. Suman Kumar. He's already present with us. Currently, he's serving as a category manager, dairy, bakery, health and wellness and beverages, and also in frozen food sector at Adeshwar India Limited. He is a postgraduate diploma in agribusiness and plantation management from Indian Institute of Plantation Management, Bangalore, and a BTech in dairy technology from Sanjay Gandhi Institute of Dairy Technology, Patna. He has previous work experience of more than 15 years in various multinationals like Milk Mantra, Metro Cash and Carry, Spencer's Retail Limited, and many more. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us here. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, should I share the screens?
Yes, please, sir.
You can just use the screen and you can give your presentation. After the presentation, we will take up the questions at the end of the presentation from our YouTube cast, okay, chat box.
So, good afternoon, everybody, and all participants. And first of all, thanks to all faculty of Anand Agriculture University who gave me opportunity to speak on the dairy industries and how we can give a value addition to the industry through a startup. Thanks to all faculties members who choose me to speak on it. So dairy industry is not new, and if I would like to start the industry about the industry through the civilizations. In this whole presentation and whole theme of this value addition, after my presentation, you will find, and all participants should know more about how the industry's challenges and the existing channels should get enriched through the new intent as any startup or the existing companies also who is taking the new initiative for the value addition of their chains. I will not go in deep about the industry's nitty-gritty of the business. I will make sure that after this presentation, each participant should know that why this products has not scaled up, why industries trade has not big up. So I will speak first about a bit of the industry details. That when our civilization started, 10,000 BC, that time of when human being started staying near the different of civilization started in near about the rivers. That Sindhu Ghati civilization, Harappa civilization, Mesopotamia civilizations. That time only the trade of milk started. People were starting the domesticating the cattle for the milk, because that time of also the one major source of nutrient was considered milk. milk, once people consume the milk, they feel that, okay, I have completed my whole food. So it's not new. It started from the 10,000 BC when Krishna had made it big, and people were in only every households has one cattle. Cows were considered as a god, and people were worshipping and also getting milk uh, for their house and to others. Once the civilization goes in the different mode after this your civilization started getting into different sectors, like from the agriculture, then it goes to your industry level. In agriculture level also, when people were shifting their work towards in different sectors, then they feel that, okay, if I don't have time, I have to get it the milk from the other persons. Then trade started, and the business started of this dairy products and fresh milks. Once the industry came, then trade becoming more and more, and between the consumer to the sourcing part from the where we are getting the milk procurement to the consumer, the channels becoming more complex. So middleman came in mid of between the consumer and the procurement from where you are sourcing. So once the different industry came, people involved in different trades, and this the middlemen came more and more. And then the business becoming a different way of working of the trades become like the different channels. Now, after in 2020, India become one of the largest population we have, around 137 billion, and milk production we have also reached because of the white revolution, when in 2000 around we are at 90 million ton. Now it is 191 million ton, with a great growth of 4.5%. We are producing 22% of the whole world milk productions. And in India, if you look at that, major productions happening from northeastern part and the western part of the states, milk productions. Still in India, the 75 million dairy farm we have, that is the half of the whole world. So you can understand how this is the big business we have. The dairy farm size is, say, people means in any village will find 2 to 3 cattle they start trade. And now this is increasing day by day. Now means herd population 550, 200 people are now taking more interest and doing this business, because the agri entrepreneur or dairy entrepreneurs is being in our gene from the start of the civilizations. The whole procurement and productions happen through the 95% of Indian milk production happen from the small hold farmers, and the existing total milk productions, if you segregate or if you make it from which cattle is coming, how many contribution and how much they are contributing, then the buffalo is ahead of cow. So it's more than 51% or 52%, and 47 to 48% is of buffalo is 51, or cow is of around 47 to 48%. Two is of goat, camel, a bit lower, but the major contribution is of buffalo and cow milk. We are getting the procurements of the milk. Currently, the Indian organized dairy market size is of 1,87,000 crore, and total, this is the only organized dairy I am talking about, where whole market of the Indian dairy will be around 10 lakh crore. So 30% around is of your means around 33 to 30% is of organized dairy, which is growing by 12%. And among the organized, we have a cooperative system and the private system. In our organized, the major milk is consumed at the home, and some is through the different small holders and private sectors is doing the business. So there are why this industry is growing, the major chunk we are consuming, because our 50 crore of population is vegetarian, which is majorly rely on the source of the nutrient of the protein from the dairy only. So meat is very less, and we mainly rely on the source of protein from the dairy. We are culturally, this dairy business is enriched in our culture uh, by religion also. We can see that 82% of around Indian are Hindus, and they are preferring to do in this business. So culture wise also, they prefer to drink milk, and they have preference of the fresh food also. Now that change, trades are changing, trends are changing, their preferences are changing. So they are now shifting from the fresh milk to the packaged foods also, because the state of preferences of the people, middle income group people, they have a different way of doing the understand. Their need is changing because they don't have time. So the existing model of the dairy, when I told you that under civilization, it was the farmers were milking the milk from through the cow, and they are only selling to the local consumers. And some traders in mid of there who were purchasing from them, and they are selling to the near about market, or they are sending to the other market, because that time it was not a big supply chain was not there. So it was the initial stage where this model was working, and the main chunk of the profit was middlemen's, like traders and suppliers were getting. Currently also in many villages or in many states, you can find the differences are making in channels, a number of new entrants is coming. This business with low margins of the fresh, low margins of this fresh milk, but the business, the each, because of the ease of the business, where the low investment is there, people, new people coming in this business. Like I'm telling you, in the one of the village, while I was working with Milk Mantra in West Bengal, in the coastal West Bengal, where I launched the products, there was a in mid of this I mean, new this consumer and the trader. There was one more channel was of the cycle wala. So they have got one more community who cycle wala collect, means they have make a union, and they started getting the milk from the traders, and they are also getting some margins. So you can understand that this business is slowly, once this trade becoming complex, because of this number of new entrants and new people are getting into it. The margins for who were procuring or who is doing the productions were getting less compared to these traders. And in these models, the major chunk were going to the suppliers or the traders. Then after these wide revolutions, one cooperative models were started in 1970, where the major benefits of the farmers were addressed, that who is doing the milking, who is in farmers, those farmers is involved in this business has to be get the margins better, and otherwise this business is not giving, the scale of the procurement of the milk were not high. So the Dr. Varghese Kurian, under this Operation Flood, this model started. This model came from the New Zealand, while Dr. Varghese Kurian went to New Zealand to understand the total cooperative system in New Zealand, and he took the model from New Zealand to India, and this cooperative society started in Anand, and based on that, Amul was created. Based on this, they make a cooperative society inside the villages where collection centers were created, and all farmers were supplying their all everyday milks to their collection centers, and their whole benefits were going to the farmers. They were getting some incentives. They have certain many packages of for their families, and there means all any benefits they were getting more. So in this cooperative systems, the benefit where smallholders were getting majorly, and since the volume has increased in this business, the model was very successful. These cooperative models, and Anand was created. Based on the Anand, in different states also different cooperatives were created, but all cooperatives were not successful as like Anand. Region were a bit very different state wise, because the controlling part of the in state cooperatives were the part of the state governments. So their way of working and Anand Amul were different. So Anand was very successful, but other cooperatives were is not as successful as Amul. Third is the private level company who were private entrepreneur model, where the difference after this cooperative model, only difference was that the smallholders were sending to the suppliers. So only middleman is there instead of the cooperatives. So only this change happened, and private companies were getting from the also from the small farmers, but the procurement systems were a bit different from the cooperative models. Here, smallholders were not getting that much benefit, but in these private entrepreneurs, certain benefits were still there, and still new entrants are giving them the way of farming models, the different new innovation, new new systems they are providing. They are also doing educating the all farmers how to make it them more beneficial for this system, and they can also get benefited, and they can also create a one new model for them. So this private entrepreneur model also right now working in the country. So India has a two or three different models. Unlike the China has a different contract. Like in China, there are different models. As they don't work on the cooperative models. In China, they have the model of collective dairy farming, where only one owner who has a big farm. There are many small and different smallholder farmers is coming to keep their their cattle, and they are getting rearing, and they are getting their margins were divided. So we have our model in China has a more intensive production unit, like not like us. We have a lower level of the scales. They have higher level of scales. So our model is different from the China. And traditional the consumer, how the consumer perceive the products, how the purchase of dairy products in India is, I'm showing right now that the function people, first consumer understand what for what purpose I'm going to purchase this product. For milk, or milk, butter, cheese, cream, for what is the purpose? Whether it is for my breakfast, whether it is for my meal, whether it is for my lunch, like that, or for dinner. So first, or for cooking of any maybe the raw material of any another product making for any other recipe. So first they will understand what is the use of this, what is the function of that product. Then they go for the preference of brand. Brand loyalty in consumption of this dairy milk is a bit higher than the any another product. After in this white revolution, people were not, people were more towards the brand loyalty by geography. Maybe in certain geography, Amul is not as much as their regional brands. Like for example, in Bangalore, you'll find Nandini is people are confirmed is accepting Nandini more than Amul in certain categories. So brand and geography is very important, and based on that, their people are customers are loyal to this consumption of the dairy products. And next, they used to go for the pack size because they feel that okay, I have to get it this much of products, whether for my household how much is required, whether I need of 2 liter of milk, whether I need a 5 liter of milk, or whether 1 kg of curd, or only 200 grams based on their family size, whether it is of 4 people or of 10 people, if they are combined, they may get of 2 kg of curd bucket also. But other if they are of 2 or 3, they can go up for 200 grams. So the pack size is a matter. Then they go for price. Okay, this is the price is the last point because they know this is for their health purpose. This is for their complete food. So price is the last parameter for the purchasing of the dairy products in this for the customer. And the dairy consumption, if you look at the how dairy products is consuming in India, is mostly on liquid milk is consumed around 66% is consumed of commodities liquid fresh milk. And then traditional dairy products like butter, cheese, ghee, ice cream, and or paneer are consumed around of 32%. After this industrialization and after this service level of the customers, this they are getting middle level income has increased. The people have now is more conscious towards their health. Second, the customers have no time to buy the products. They want to have the, they can pay more of the value-added products if they can get uh, with the higher prices also. So the income level of the middle income level people they have increased their wallet to purchase of the dairy products. Even if they are getting good products, they can pay for more. So they are getting worth of that of their price worth for the dairy product. So the new trends has come up with this lactose-free milk. Like if there people are not knowing, but India, you might have known that India is the 65% people are lactose intolerant. Many people don't know that they are lactose intolerant. So there are new trends are coming, and lactose-free, flavored yogurt, paneer. Is there are different types of paneer is coming uh, like yeah, they are having some spices. They are herb masala paneer, and the drinks are coming a lot like in probiotic drinks, yogurt, tulsi based, turmeric based, and consumption is growing like anything. So commodity growth is there, but the emerging value-added product growth is on a high rate compared to your fresh milk consumption, which is growing at 10 to 12%, and the traditional is also growing on the same pace, but the customers is now more towards the value-added products. So the growth rate is very, very high for these products. So why the bit of this only I told that why the consumption patterns of people are changing because the rising middle class population is growing by 8 to 7%, and their income is also growing. Urbanization is on high. People are shifting from the village level to city where they are finding their jobs and they are working there, and they are also expanding over there. So the urbanization is changing. Urbanization growth rate is very high. So they have now dependent on the ready-to-eat products, which is already packaged. They don't have time to make the food, so they are just to make heat it and eat it. That's why these ready-to-eat products are there. Their pattern of consumptions is now changing because they are now trying to get the only product which has very high nutrition, which is high, like customers are shifting their cereals to the high value of protein of milks. And packaged food is also growing by 30%. So to meet these patterns of the customers, the new any trends, every businessman or the business trades, they are trying to meet their expectations. So the e-grocery or e-markets is growing. E-commerce are now in the mode of to meet their uh, usage or meet their demands. See, the e-commerce is the new way of, and it's going to be very high for the next 10 years. E-commerce is going to be in the new way of working in dairy or any industry or e-groceries. After COVID also, people are now, demand in the processed food has increased. People are not going outside. They are fearful to get contaminated with COVID. So the brands which is available in the same region, they are getting through the e-commerce channel. They want to make all recipe which they were releasing in the restaurant in the past, they want to make it here only. So if you see the industry sales in 2020, ice cream has degrown a lot, but cheese and paneer has grown. And all in households, people are making their all needs in the house only. So main ingredient of the pizza cheese. So they are making pizza in the house through the cheese, mozzarella cheese. They are drinking turmeric milk, tulsi milk to making them immunity perfect. So based on this, after this COVID also, the change in the consumption pattern of people have changed a lot. So that this also give a boost to e-commerce model. Surely now brick and mortar stores is shifting towards the e-commerce model. Many people, many traders are doing. The main challenge, what we have in India, that major consumption is consumption of the milk is happening here only. The trade of value-added products is very low. The scale of the business of dairy products is low. But since this urbanization is happening, it's changing right now. But scale is very low of the making of the products. And the channel is such a like that the chances of a realization of the milk cost is a bit different. That our cooperative models has made a cost pressure because the prices are not getting higher because Amul is making it a big cost challenge for any new entrant. And since this cooperative model is there, the prices are stabilized. The customer is getting benefited, whether your smallholder is also getting benefited. So there is a cost pressure also there. And the one other aspect is emerging right now in this industry is of plant-based dairy milks. Plant-based dairy milks. This is alternative of the dairy. So one is that milky oats and soft this sport soft foods has also started a vegan cheese. There is a almond milk-based cheese where the taste a bit difference, but the health basis it is very beneficial. Now this milking oats, the owner is Ashna Goyal. She has introduced this fresh, this milk-based, oat-based milk. So it's a plant-based alternative of the dairy. Then Epigamia brands, they have started the yogurt of the coconut milk. So these all are a new trend of the alternative of the dairy, but still they have go a long way because in the last 10 years they have grown as a 1%, 10% in last 10 years. Globally, I'm talking about. In India, it is very new. So future trend is like that growth of the niche products and the value products is on the chunk, and every companies are looking for the value added products which will grow a bit higher than the existing fresh milk. And the cooperative and private sectors is growing, Indian industry is growing, urbanization is happening, and the tech savvies and new trends are trying to understand how the customers are behaving. Based on that, the shape of this industry will go. So the challenge of any startup in India is now that how they can leverage the industry's different points at the different level of the chain, make it more robust and make it clean production of the milk, make them more profitable at the different level. And this is the way where different companies coming. all private companies are coming with their investment, with the seed investment, and with the venture capitalist fundings, and they are trying to make it sure that okay, this industry has to grow at a different level, like Country Delight or ST Labs, who is using the different technology in the dairy farming, where they can see that the storage and milking has to happen without touch of the hand. At each point, it should be not touched from the hands. So any new trends, they look at a very niche way to understand that how to make it sure that the production of the milk should be clean, and the farmers who is involved in this business should also get benefited. Apart from this, the next level is of supply chain, where the integrated supply chain, different companies are looking at whether, like in milk lane, and the different companies at farm how to store it, and from the store how to go it to plant. And this should be all integrated. There should be no human touch, so that the the chances of adulteration of milk should be avoided. And different at the certain scale, it should be a profitable business. And third point is that how customers is get benefited, because earned customers should get their own uh, what is their assumptions and what is their requirements should be met. Because after this COVIDs, and the middle income group level high, and the chances they all house means wife and husband both are working, they are not getting time. So suppose if anybody is coming at the evening and they don't have milk in the home, so how to get it? So the e-commerce model is that they work on the different slots of the supplies from the early morning to till midnight. And in this business, whenever any person in the room, if is available, they can get it, and they can book their slots, and they can get these products at their own time. Even in midnight, they can give. So thus, this level of e-commerce is working. Second, there e-commerce also has launched the subscription model. This is the model where if you are getting the milk every day, suppose 5 liter, 1 liter in your home every day, your requirement, the prices is maybe of 50 rupees per liter. But if you subscribe for a month, then you can get 40 rupees liter per liter. So this is the subscription model are also in the way of many companies are going, because this is the way through which any company can understand the requirement of any consumer. They can also understand that how many customers are loyal for their brand or for their supplies. And through this model, they can also start their any new expansion of their products very easily. So this model is not only in India, and in across in USA and various countries they are adopting, because this is the model where the loyal customers can get, and they can understand their total complete basket values of their products. And through this model, they can maybe after first six first 1 or 2 years, they may find that it's maybe a loss, but once they can get through the value-added products, they may turn the business around. And this made, sometimes they call it as a loss leader models also, because they may find that this is going to be a loss, but after some time, after 2 years or 3 years, it will change the complete dynamics of the business. Many companies like Milky Mist and other companies are in mostly in value-added products, since the margins is very high compared to liquid fresh milk. This Milky Mist started their business in Erode, and they have fresh milk only in Erode areas, and rest of the value-added products like curd, paneer, UST milk, khoa, everything they are sending to other southern states Now Milky Mist is in East also. They are now planning in different northern north states also. So their model is that they are more focusing on the value-added products. Fresh milk, they are only containing the near about area where they can cater. And through this, they are also very successful. And they are adding every day. Now they are coming with the ice creams and the scoop ice creams. They have higher margins. So they have majorly focused on the value-added production. And next is the omni-channels. Omni-channel is nothing like this brick and mortar plus e-commerce business. After this COVID and before it also, many many retailers were in only in brick and mortar, and they have also started the e-commerce business because they found that only brick and mortar will not help to acquire all existing customers. They have to build up some new way to understand that whether this customer can retain it or not, because people are now everything is on their mobile, so they have started with apps. So customers are now are more of the times on the mobile. They can do it every orders through mobiles. So through this they can acquire this their existing customer also they can retain, and they can also get the new customers. So in this value addition through dairy farm startup, the major brand is so many brands are there, but their main channel is through dairy farm, like this country delight and labs are doing. But the data analytics and the quality of milk is through IoT, Internet of Things are there, through which they are managing the quality of milk. And dairy sector, since it is 55% is unorganized, so there are many opportunities where new that startups can make it robust, this dairy farming, and make it sure that they can supply to the plants through this channel, and they can give the value addition to the in dairy farming of this new internet. Organized dairy market, if I was talking about these value-added products, you like to see this, how the contribution of the value-added products is growing by now. The contribution earlier it was of 2016, it was of 18 products, now 18%, now it is of 22%. So the liquid milk is now decreasing. Earlier it was of 64%. From 64% now it became 60%. So you can see that how in the organized dairy markets, value-added products is now taking the more shapes and more contribution, more pie of the whole business. I have already told that how Milky Mist has done this. Now another brand is Vistara Farms, who is of Basta is the brand name, who has started the value-added products of goat cheese. They have goat cheese, they have goat feta cheese, they have goat-based yogurt, and they are spreading their business. So means every startup has a different level of focus of way of working. Some is focusing on the value-added products, some is subscription model. So Milky Mist, Vistara, these are Amul also now. See, Amul also have seen the changes in the customer patterns. So they have also launched lactose-free milk. They have already launched long back, but they are now coming in tulsi-based and probiotic drinks, milk based drinks, camel milk also they have launched, goat milk they have launched. So this is the way, means customer are means all customer pattern. By seeing the change in the customer purchase pattern, brands and new startups, everyone shaping their way of trades also, and their focus is also changing. This is subscription model that I already told, that milk basket, then super daily, then you have GeoMart is now coming the new trend in the this in e-commerce business on the subscription model. And HR food, HR is HR companies also now in fruits and vegetables. They are also thinking of coming in this subscription model of daily business. So many companies and many trends are coming in startup, so that will get this whole chain is will get benefited. Omni-channel like Milk Mantra. Milk Mantra has started their business. I will tell you in the next story about this Milk Mantra and the details. But all the existing brands and retail channels like Reliance, like Spencer's, who is the pioneer in the retailing, we started in 1995 as a food world, and in 1995 only they have done collaboration with DFI, that is the Dairy Farm International, and this food world has a first store in Bangalore in MG Road, that was of food world supermarket, and they had a head office in Chennai. They started their pioneer retailing, and they have spread it in 2005. They had separated from DFI, and Spencer and football became separate. Later on, Reliance came in free, and Big Bazaar everybody knows. So many brick and mortar stores were keen on that how to give them experience of the daily products, how to give them experience of, or in the inside the store they should come and see the freshness, and they can take the products. But that's as the time changes, the e-commerce and an app-based and website-based model has taken a spike. Total retail business in 2000, total organized retail business was only 2% in 2004-5. Now it became 10% in 2020, and in 10% also e-commerce business, which was earlier hardly 2-3%. In 2020, they became 4-5% business. So overall total organized business, e-commerce is now also taking the pie. So based on the consumption pattern, based on the changes of the whole system, the business trend is also changing. So many retailers is more keen to go with omni-channel, not existing with brick and mortar. They're also coming with the online business like Reliance has with JioMart. Spencer's has also already started in 2014 only, but now they are more robust towards this e-commerce business. Namdhari Fresh, which is in Bangalore based, they are in fresh and fresh and fruits and vegetable, and they are have grocery also supermarket in Bangalore. They are veg, only veg business is there, and they have also started in the e-commerce business. In fact, I'm working with Adishwar, which is now is a new entrant in this retail business. They are also we are also coming with brick and mortar along with e-commerce and with app. Without that, we understood that the system is like that. We cannot get acquire the customers. So the startups, any startups is taking the model very exclusively. Without that, they thought that we cannot beat and we cannot make a successful model. So this is the way the customers changing, and people, all traders, retailers are thinking different way, because the success of any business is only one way, that we should see that what is the customer is requirement, and we should go ahead of it. Not only customer requirement is there, we should give those things they have not thought of. Like I'm giving you one example. You might have seen a movie, Sahansa movie, and during that in a movie, Amrish Puri went to one restaurant and he paid these tips before of their meal. And Prem Chopra asked, why you have paid before of that meal? Then he told that this tip is the guarantee of the service. So he paid before of their requirements. So before their expectation, they meet. So we in any business only we can successful when we have think of that whatever the customer think we should serve better than that, and they feel that, oh, we are getting more of what we have thought of. So that way only we can. This is the success of any business mantra. This is the only way through which we can meet the. We are making the business from the procurement to till customer they are consuming, but the last mile where the customers should meet their all expectation. Even if you have meet the all level of the channel, if customer is not purchasing, we cannot build the whole channel successful. So the last mile should go with satisfied. At is then only will we overall will get successful. So these all models has the different models here, but the successful model only happen when the last mile customer has to be satisfied. Here we have seen that earlier it was the only model in the traditional based, that from customer or from the purchaser or the procurement to the customers. Again, we are going in the same way of the on the subscription model, that we are getting the milk and giving the customer directly. So in this model also there is loopholes, but overall the models what I have given you in this, the different company is doing, and this is the one model that I thought that okay, so we should have the combination of both. Only one model which is working. Okay, if we have certain level of scales, then only it will get profitable. Otherwise, we need our fundings to make it more profitable. We need every time the fundings. If we have a complete set of the futuristic holistic model, then only in the future we will get benefited. Because even in subscription model, first we go on the loss, and till if we will not get scale, we will be on the loss model only. So many new entrants, many new startups, they are now facing the competition also, because the new entrants are also more, startups are also more. So we must have the complete holistic models where they can get benefited. I'm talking about one model where Milk Lane has started their business in 2015, and they educated their dairy farmers holistically, and they have given them all education how to do how to take care of the cattle, what they have to feed it, and how you should cut the fodders. Everything they have given, and they have also trained the farmers that if your milk is not consumed by us or not consumed by any in the market, how to make it sure that you should going to sell it, or how you can create the products through which you can sell it. So this model is what I am showing you right now, is that if anybody right now in average smallholders have 50 cows. If they have cows, they can do the dairy farming. They can have a small level of one outlet where in back end there should be one manufacturing unit, small unit, where they can manufacture the traditional dairy products, and they can enrich with certain level of the new internet products also, and they can sell at the manufacturing outlet also. And they have additionally, they can look at the digital presence, they can adopt the e-commerce model also, and then they can see that the production of the milk and the consumption of the milk to the customers level, if they are going with these simple products, if they are not able to get sold in mid of this whole channel, I don't think the whole production will go, any milk will left, and there will be no any milk will be left, and the whole production will, and the whole channel will be, is viable. So this model, many people is all existing companies are also now thinking that okay, the existing channel what they have, they must adopt the new trends also. They must create a new outlet, a small and low rent outlet, where they can take the products, they can give the fresh milk also, they can take the products, they can create or they can produce certain products which can used through the fresh milk. Like there is one some outlet where they can make the tea also, they can make the pizza also, they can make the dairy product based any products. They make this burgers, then they put in this all spiced paneers also. so that there should be no loss of any milk in that whole chain. So these models are adopting by the other brands also, like Milky Mix has started their own parlor in their factory only, near about factory where they have more than 400, 500 employees. And they have created one parlor inside the factory where all milks and all products are there, and they are making one recipe of the products also. So they may go ahead with other channels or other locations to create one outlets like this. So this is the model that maybe this is the model which I think that is going to be the new futuristic way uh, for the any new entrants. Successful mantra of the milk mantra. I worked in milk mantra. I joined in 2019 of and we have, because the milk mantra based out of Odisha. They have started their journey in 2009 under the leadership of Sri Kumar Mishra, and they have some seed money and commissioned their factory in 2011. Initially, they were in Odisha, in Puri, they have started their factory. And the first product was fresh milk. And one unique thing was with the fresh milk was that it was under the tri-pack layer. So in the inside of the poly pack, there was a black coating. It increased the shelf life of the fresh milk of from 1 day or 2 days to 3 days. So if sun rays comes, it was got reflected through this black coating and the self life increased. So this was the one innovation Milk Mantra was started, and it was USP initially with Milk Mantra. On 12 they have launched with other products. In 2012 only, when I was with Spencer Retail, I met with Sri Kumar Mishra, and we launched this product in Spencer Retail in modern chain. Later on, they came in the general trade also in Kolkata, and they were more robust in Odisha. Kolkata was also products where they are not fish milk. Fish milk was only in Odisha in different districts. So the journey of the milk mantra started, and they have started in 2013. They launched probiotic, the first in the eastern region, and the main USP of 2013, they started with ethical sourcing, milk sourcing programs. They have connected with 42,000 farmers. Under these programs, they increased the production of the procurement of the fresh milks, and later on for the Swachh milk procurement, they started this abhiyan of Swachh milk, Swachh Doodh Abhiyan, where they have given around 15,000 farmers that stainless steel tankers, where they can get the milk and they can collect the milk from their farm to the collection centers. And it was the great successful way of doing this clean production. From that was means in 2006 they have spurred with this Savian and committed that our milk is truly pure. And these steps and this journey was very commendable, and they have seen that how the Odisha, which was majorly only with this Omphed was the main dairy industries. Later on, this milk mantra has gained the pie of the market size also. The same model what Milk Lane was who is doing right now is same. This Milk Mantra has adopted earlier in 2017 that bulk milk cooler in the village where the collection centers are there, where earlier it was collected and then sent to the chilling center. So it was taking around 2-3 hours. The milk was not in the cool condition, temperature were at the room temperature. Through this bulk milk cooler, which has capacity of around 2,000 liter, the village level, it was based on the third party, but they were also as dairy entrepreneurs. They were taking the milk, and within 45 minutes from the tanker it goes to milk cooler, and the supply chain was continuous. In 2017 they have started, and this was the great step towards the strengthening the total supply chain of this dairy industry, and build bulk milk cooler model later on now adopting many companies, which is a new trend, and they think that okay, in village level this is the only one way that they can maintain the supply chain, because the chilling points and the village might be certain distances. There might be, they have 60 kilometers, they might be 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers, but during that time the chilling points, chillers, the temperature of the products should be maintained. So this was the one of the great step by Milk Mantra, where it was supply chain was strengthened. Later on, the Milk Mantra has started with this value-added products, where they thought that okay, we should have the more value-added products out the existing. Then they adopted this Chana Poda they have launched, which is a visa-based dessert, and they launched in different foreign trades, in general trades. In north also, they have started with some e-commerce channels, and it is in 2018 they have started. It's going on. Black, and now with this change of the after the COVID, they now thought that okay, the acquisition of the customers again the same way is very tough. So e-commerce is a must to our system. Without that, we cannot strengthen the sale. So Milky Moo started this e-commerce business. Now it will be available on their app, and through website you can get the products. Because if we have a holistic channel, then only we can be successful. Ultimately, we need of the customer through which we can get the business. And if even if we are producing a huge clean milks, but we are not getting sold, it's very tough. So the business has to be like that. Currently, the Milk Mantra is doing around 200 crore turnover per year, and now become the taste of Odisha. After the home paid, this is the second private. After home paid, this is the second dairy company who is doing the great businesses in Odisha. And the one second story in mid of this also, I have repeated told that the Milk Lane in 2015 they have started this business, and it was the B2B business. Means Milk Lane was mainly doing the procurement from the farmers, and they were supplying to all industrial plants and different restaurant, and completely B2B business was doing. And the main theme of this Milk Lane was the strengthening the same supply chain through the different technology and digitalization of the collection center, dairy farmings. Earlier, it was a start. They have started with 50 cow herds. Now they have farmers of more than 1 lakh farmers. And later on, now they have started B2C business also, not only in free fresh milk. Now they have curd, they have yogurt, and they have different products also, different daily value-added products. So the whole startup, if you look at the whole complete story of these startups, every steps they have taken from the procurement to deal customers in each steps. They took the new digitalization and new industry channels, and then they feel that how to get strengthened in at each level. And customers will get benefited, through which that business will come, and the whole system will get benefited. This is the, and Milkland has gone one step ahead, that why only we means Milkland will get business. Why not with the SIPU? SIPU was the small industrial production unit. They have established in the village only with these dairy farmers, which were doing the business. And if they are not getting their milk gets supplied, if they have higher milk of quantity, they can also small unit of their sort of business they can start in the village only with their products, and they can make a small factory outlet like this. That I told you earlier in the previous slides. So the industries is misshaping like this way. These all are the different models where the startups are doing, and I hope that participants has got the ample space and understanding of the startups. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
It was such a nice, elaborative presentation, and you shared your own experience of Milk Mantra also, and your evaluation of the whole industry also. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request Samit sir to put up the questions that is there in the chat box.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Ms. Nishita. Thank you, Mr. Mankumar. It's a nice presentation, especially those say we all know you have also mentioned that there are a lot of entry barriers in dairy. Means it's not easy to enter into dairy business. There are already say in organized way also means dairy has much more organized than other food fruits and vegetable sectors. So so those things are there, but still you have really nicely explained and nicely shown the participants that what could be the new areas, niche areas where actually they can enter and make a successful scalable business. So thanks again. Thanks for taking time and joining us and really giving this expert talk. Before I would like to take a few questions from our YouTube chat box. Means that they have also mentioned that the presentation is very informative, nice. We'll take few questions from there itself. Okay. There is one Mr. Neeraj Singh. His question is, in my areas, Champar and Bagaha, where farmers have to sell milk at lower price, rupees 25 per liter, but in market 40 rupees per liter, how we can manage it for profits? Should I repeat the question?
Yeah. Yeah. Understood. So that's what the startups are coming, because they can't go the market where there is a market available. So suppose they have 100 liters per day, the production, the consumption is only of 50 liters. 50 liter is not getting consumed. So any startups, they have to check with the existing any newcomers is there or not, or they should have, means farmers should also understand why not they have a small unit of the factory inside. Why not they are making butter, why not they are making paneer, which is very easily they can make it and they can sell it in their outlet only, a small factory outlet. I'm telling you truly, I got call from the many UP districts that I need of one consultancy, how I can make my existing cows who is giving me production this much of milk, I'm not able to sell, because existing after the COVID they have surplus milk and they are not able to sell it. In Kolkata also few farmers they have 200 liters 400 liter milks, because restaurants are closed. Consumption in restaurants is not there. Sweets are shops are closed. They have surplus milk. They are not able to sell. So they have to innovate holistically way. Even if there is no new startup is there, if in Champaran, any farmer should start their own outlet, small outlet, where they can make the traditional dairy products. And this app based, why not they should start with WhatsApp? They can collect the 20 or 100 people. They are busy on the Facebook. They cannot make their own WhatsApp groups. They can sell that this is the product I have. I can sell you. There are numerous ways right now existing to sell their products. Numerous way. People are investing. Means the data is telling that people are now investing their time on the different social networks. Why not they will put some their own brand there that I'm selling this product, and they can sold out. So this is the age of the digitalization. What we can do if we will be on the traditional model, will not be able to sell. And those are adopting, they are getting out of it. You might have seen one dhawawala during after COVID. He was not able to sell their whole products of what they were making of chapati and rice. But once social media it came, he was selling like anything.
Yes.
So
That
this
story
is
very viral.
yeah. So the two
means even the example you are giving means that person who is in that village, he can actually start means build his brand on the USP, like he is using fresh milk, say paneer, whatever, and he can deliver. The quantity will be not very high, so he can actually sell out everything, means whatever, and get a nice price. Means right. I think rightly
only
answered.
you have to make hygienic and good products, and the customer is too much. You have to means people has to understand this is the person who is selling this product. It is hygienically correct, and pricing is okay. There is no question of not selling it. Only the platforms are changing, and we cannot deny that.
Right, absolutely. Thank you. There is one more question. It's on. So there are many branded dairy industries, means dairy products are available in India, established brands. So if any new dairy is starting, then should that dairy work in that market or not?
See, right now there is so many markets, there are so many brands, and even though you can see that how many new trends are coming every day, you will think that. Yesterday I met one brand called Dairy Tales. Dairy Tales. They have in Chennai. They have one farm in 125 acre. And they have started their business in 2010. They have their own farm. Started with they have imported the semen from the different countries, and 50 during these 5 years they breeding they have done with 50 different breeds. Now he has around 500 herd, and started their milk at rate of 90 rupees in Tetra Pak. It is not Tetra Pak, it is look like Tetra Pak, but 90 rupees milk. And the ghee is around 1200 rupees kg. But it is selling. It is very costly, but it's selling, and they're telling customers are there who is getting it. They are selling only 1000 liter of milk right now, and only 200 kg of ghee only. But it is selling, and still they have made a profit. But even new entrant has to see where is the gap. Every new brand is not available at each nook and corner. Of course, the Amul has a spreaded network. They have in many locations. But if you will go to the market, you will find there is a one gap, and they must look into it how to get the gap. And means only not price point through which they can enter. They have also entered with the services.
Absolutely.
If Amul is reaching at 5 o'clock morning, why not your brand has to reach as 4 o'clock morning?
Right.
Not only with the product, they have to also enter with the services. Price point is different. Price point they may not beat, but through services they can beat. So they have to go. Even the existing brands are there, no problem. You can start with 100 liters of milk, but there is ample opportunity.
Right, absolutely right, and say the data also says so. Means after all these efforts and all these organized institutionalized dairy 30% of the surplus milk is only comes in the organized sector. So there is a huge unorganized sector still exists, where with some innovation, some difference, differentiating yourself, you can actually create your own market and they can sell, right? I think you are absolutely right. We'll take some few more questions. One question is why there is major difference in price between curd and yogurt?
See, curd and yogurt has a bit, see, in plain a bit not too much differences, but of course in flavored one you may find it, because the yogurt plain is based on the culture. The culture which you are putting into it has differences, and the yogurts has different flavors, different flavors they are using. So they may pricing is higher than the fresh pouch card and plain cards. And then you see the probiotic has a little bit higher prices. You see 40 rupees is the price, then probiotic will be 50 rupees. And the flavored yogurt might be at 40, 50 or 60 rupees. So the culture we are using in the products creating the different differences. And the yogurt is set one.
Exactly. Means so as we tell in the classes that means the price we pay for any product is not for the raw material or the ingredient it contains, but for the value we are getting. So if you can sell a cup of curd with more value than yogurt, you can charge more. Means people will be ready to pay for that. So it all depends on how you are selling it, right? There is one more question on fruits and vegetables processing industry or milk industry, which will be better for entering into business.
So it depends upon your own skill and your own interest. Business is more or less it is your interest. The function-wise dairy business and function-wise dairy business and fruits and vegetable business is more or less same, because it works on the temperature level. You should have the cold chain and all. But dairy business is now a bit mid of FMCG business and your fresh business, because the products are some are of lower shelf life, some are of the higher shelf life. Like butter, you can keep it for 6 months or 9 months, but curd and paneer, fresh curds is behaving like the your fruits and vegetable for 2 days, 1 day, 4 days shelf life. So function wise, both are same. But in the industry, dairy business is also now considered as FMCG. Okay, so it depends upon your interest, which one, which industry you should see. Suppose you have the farmland of banana, of course you should go in fruits and vegetable business. But there is a hard work in both. It is not that easy way anywhere. You have to be in business not for the 1 month or 1 year. It may take 3 years, 4 years to bring the profitability. 3 years, 4 years, based on your investments. If you are at lower level, it may get benefit initially. But if you have invested, you may take a higher level based on the scale of the business. So both are having a good way of working, but it depends upon you how you can do.
Absolutely, absolutely, and of course there are similarities between fruits and vegetables and milk. So that's why we have actually prepared this training module including both these two, because both are perishable. So that is a big similarity in these two things. But of course, ultimately for starting a business, more important is, as I think the earlier speakers and experts are telling, that if you want to start a business, go to a local market, see what are the products available, find out of those products, which products are coming from a distant place. Then you see out of those products, which raw material is available in your place for which products. So you can choose from those products. So you can immediately start business there. I mean, so that way it should be looked into. We will take few more questions. One is, yes, Mr. Suman, there is another question on what is traditional value-added dairy products and emerging value-added dairy products. If you can please differentiate, and which among these two is better to prefer preferred segment to choose as an entrepreneur according to you?
uh, in my slides, it is clearly mentioned which is traditional, that is butter, cheese, curd, paneer, all are traditional products, and the emulsions, turmeric, and tulsi milks. Even in ice cream, turmeric flavor ice creams and different flavors, different company are introducing. So the value-added products will have the more margins, okay, but the volumes will be a little lower initially because it is a growing, but the base is lower. So if you are entering in the business, you must have both too. Means you should have the traditional also and value added also. Like Milky Mist, currently they have the traditional. Now they are coming with a pizza in the different varieties. Frozen pizza in different flavors. So is it not that only value-added products will help you? Of course, if you want to be in only in emerging value-added trades, it may take a higher, longer period to get benefited or get your returns. It's growing trends, but again, what locality or what geography you are choosing, that is also important.
Right. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. And I think you have rightly pointed out these things. And there is one more question on, so you talked about setting up a different trend from the prevailing ones, giving an example of country delight products. So say hand touch free meal. So such trends also make it a niche product. So in that case, what should be the pricing strategy for an entrepreneur? And then there is another aspect, I mean, another question that means whether that kind of product will remain scalable or not in long run.
Yeah. So I'm giving you one example of Akshay Kalpa. Akshay Kalpa is a Bangalore-based company. We entered 4 or 5 years back with A2 milk, which has a higher value. Which has higher value. They are selling at 120 rupees per liter. So currently they are selling around hardly 2 to 3,000 liter per day. 2,000 to 3,000 liter per day. But once they started, they found that with this volume, they will not be able to sustain. So they came up with the all A2 products also. And also the fresh milk, regular milk. It's not A2 milk, with the regular milk also.
Right.
So the pricing will be higher of that products. But if you are not getting that much value, you have to change your strategy also and the focus also. It happens because business is just like that. You have entered with certain focus. You have entered in a certain territory. You have thought that okay, this volume may come with this A2 milk, but they found that this volume has not come. Then they have changed the model. Okay, A2 milk is okay. I'm entered with A2 ghee, A2 paneer, A2 curd. Everything they have come up, and with regular milk also they have come up. That's why I show you in the last slides that there should be holistic model. There is one model will never be able to. They might be, they might not. So you have to change. So the pricing will be higher of the clean milk and all. It's like that only. The pricing a bit higher, but if you will not getting the volume, I don't know which territory you are planning. If you are planning in such a territory that where you can get the volume higher, you'll be profitable. If you are not getting, then you have to take the different strategy also.
Right, right. Thank you. And another question is regard to is cattle selection. If someone is thinking of starting a dairy farm in today's time, what should be the criteria for cattle preference? I think he's meaning that animal and breed means for cow or buffalo or about breeds also, they see breed or not.
So in the discussion only, I told that my dairy tales. they have imported the Siemens. So those breeds which is giving a huge milk productions, they can start with this one, and they'll be more beneficial.
Right. Another question is how quality of milk can be controlled from dairy farm to final consumer. I mean, in terms of automation.
Yeah, so that's what. Yeah, so startups,
that
all
also, right?
startups are working on the same one. Those were data analysis, where they are on the cloud basis, means electronically they are sealed. They are sealing the tankers. Nobody is touching to seal. Electronically they are sealing. Like you are sealing your car. When you are coming out of the car, you are sealing through electrically. Same way, the tankers are getting sealed, and the containers are coming like that. So each steps there is no touch. So all country delight stillax are using the same value additions in the farmings and the collection of the milk.
Right, right. One question is on can we mix animal milk with non-dairy, say for soya milk and all together for preparation of curd, paneer, etc. products? Can we mix these two?
This one means I have not seen these products that mixing of this almond and almond based or oat milk. Right now, the industry is using only two. One is almond based, second one is of oat based. These two brand milk in oat and your soft spot soft cheese. They are using, and they are creating their own way. They are not mixing at all. So can we use, that is the technical part, which whether what will happen out of it, that I don't know, but that industry quality expert can say you. But means industry mixing of these products has not come out till date.
Okay. We'll take a last question before handing over the session to Ms. Vishita. That is, the question is on, so how do you see scope for probiotics, prebiotics or symbiotics in Indian context?
Yeah, so probiotic is now completely prevailed in the whole country. People are consuming it. Those have the intestine problems. They are using this probiotic. They are paying 10 rupees, 15 rupees extra compared to these products. And those are means older age people, and those are more towards the health. They are using it. And so it's India is a big market where the different level, income level, different awareness level people are there. So market is big in the particularly in the modern major metropolitan cities. There are so many consumers. Even now, the customers are getting awareness in the two-tier cities also. Many retailers are penetrating in the two-tier cities, and you can see after sometimes the many retailers will be in two-tier cities only, because all metropolitan cities are filled. So there are big chances the probiotic will grow up. Like right now, maybe a small chunk, but after some time we'll find you'll have more products on the shelf of this probiotic. More brands will be there.
Right, right, right. Thank you, Mrs. Suman Kumar. It's wonderful to listen to you, because I think your whole experience came out and it is really beneficial for our participants. And you have also agreed to join us in a very short notice. So for that, again, thanks. And I also like to thank our participants for remaining interactive and continuously posing questions and all. That is also really very encouraging for us conducting this kind of training. It really encourages us. And tomorrow is the last day, so we will expect that you will remain present with same energy and interest. With this, I will hand over the session to Ms. Vishita for concluding remarks.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With this, I would like to thank you, sir. Your presentation was a complete movie which showed the scenario of dairy cooperatives, traditional model, cooperative, and private models. You also shared your experience how dairy industry successfully came out of COVID situation. After which you shared the importance and growth of value-added products and the challenges that the dairy startup tend to face, and the possible way out to make it more profitable. Also, you mentioned that various e-commerce models are very attractive and the services that they give are commendable. Also, for a successful business, you have to build and strengthen your team by training and educating them. That is a very important point that entrepreneurs should learn. I'm sure that the presentation might have ignited their minds for creating something new and the market and then market their own produce. Thank you so much, sir, once again for accepting my invite and sharing your experience with us. Thank you.
Thank you.